So if you're running a serious WordPress site in 2026, let's be real. Your hosting choice isn't just some minor detail. It is the absolute foundation of your entire digital world. You get it right, and you can grow and scale like crazy. But if you get it wrong, you're looking at insane bills, sluggish performance, and a whole lot of headaches. So how do you make the right call in this super high-stakes game?
Let me just ask you this straight up. When you look at your monthly hosting bill, does it make you wince a little? Do you ever feel like you're paying this premium price, but you're not totally sure what you're getting for it? If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are not alone. This is a huge pain point for so many businesses out there.
Okay, now, what if I told you there was a way to slash that cost by this much? 75%. I mean, think about that. That's not just pocket change, that's a game-changing number that could free up a massive chunk of your budget for other things. And look, that number isn't something we just pulled out of thin air. It's what real businesses are actually reporting when they make the switch from those big, clunky, all-in-one platforms over to a much smarter, optimized setup running in their own cloud account. So, how exactly do they do it? Well, to understand the solution, first we have to look at the two traditional paths that most people feel forced to choose between. And honestly, both of them have some pretty serious flaws. So on one hand, you've got what we call the proprietary platforms. You can kind of think of these as a black box. You just put your WordPress site in, and they handle everything for you. The servers, the security, you name it. It's supposed to be this all-in-one, totally hands-off experience.
Now, the trade-off here is pretty intense. Sure, it's simple, and having those structured workflows can be nice, but the downsides, they are huge. You're paying a really high premium, and as your site gets more popular, you get hit with what we call a success tax. Your bill just keeps going up and up with your traffic. You're basically locked into their rigid pricing tiers with very little flexibility or real control.
So what's the complete opposite of that? Well, it's total freedom. This is the second path, just using the raw cloud infrastructure yourself directly from a provider like Amazon Web Services. Here, you are in the driver's seat. You control everything. And the upsides are incredible, right? You get rock-bottom costs, you can scale infinitely, and you own everything. But, and this is a massive but, you have to manage every single little thing yourself. This means you need a team of highly specialized and very expensive DevOps engineers to handle all the updates, security patches, and constant monitoring. It's an enormous maintenance burden, what we call the DevOps tax. And this right here, this is the core dilemma everyone faces. Do you go for the convenient path that's super expensive and locks you in? Or do you go for the path with all the control that's cheap and scalable, but just unbelievably complex? For a lot of people, it feels like there's no right answer. But what if that whole choice is a false one? What if there's a better way, a third way, that lets you avoid this painful trade-off completely? Which brings us to the big question. Are you really forced to pick your poison? Do you have to choose between paying way too much or hiring an entire engineering team just to keep your website online? The answer, thankfully, is a simple and very loud no. You do not have to make that choice. There is a third path. We call it the middle path, and it is all about getting the absolute best of both worlds. Just imagine having all the convenience and ease of a managed platform, but running on top of your own cloud account. This gives you the huge cost savings and total control of raw infrastructure, but without all the manual work and complexity. So why is this middle path the clear winner as we look towards 2026? Well, let's dig into the actual concrete benefits. First, let's talk money. A legacy platform, as you see, is expensive. Raw AWS looks cheap on the surface, but that hidden labor cost, that DevOps tax we talked about, is what gets you. But this third option, the middle path, combines automation with AWS, giving you the absolute lowest cost without all that effort. You're just paying your cloud provider directly, cutting out that expensive middleman, and saving up to 80%. Next up, performance. And this is completely non-negotiable. Did you know that just a 1-second delay in how fast your server responds can eat up 40% of your budget for hitting a good user experience score? The bottom line is your site has to be lightning fast, not just on a normal day, but when it really counts. The middle path nails this using auto-scaling Kubernetes clusters. Now, that might sound technical, but it's the same tech that giants like Google and Netflix use to stay online. It means your website's resources can instantly and automatically expand to handle a massive traffic spike, say from a viral marketing campaign, and then shrink right back down. You only pay for what you use, and your site never goes down during your most important moments. Okay, now for security. And this number, wow, this number is just staggering. In 2025, a full 96% of WordPress site owners had to deal with at least one security incident. You just cannot afford to mess this up. This approach basically gives you a security guardian angel. And it's not some pricey add-on. It's just built right in. You get automatic protection against those nasty DDoS attacks, a strong firewall, automated backups, and disaster recovery plans. And for businesses that need it, you can even achieve compliance for things like SOC 2 and HIPAA. All right, so I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great in theory, but is it still going to be super complicated to actually use? Well, let's take a look at how it really works. It's actually shockingly simple. First, you just link your own cloud account, whether it's AWS or Azure. Second, you use a pre-built template to launch your projects, which saves literally thousands of hours of manual setup. And third, your developers can start coding and deploying immediately from a cloud-based development environment. It is all designed for speed and simplicity. So when we put all these pieces together, what does this choice really mean for your business at the end of the day? You know, it really comes down to this single idea. It's about a fundamental shift in thinking. It is no longer about trading convenience for control or control for cost. It's about taking back control of your cloud, your data, and your budget while keeping the amazing automated experience your team needs to move fast. So the final question really is for you. As you're planning for 2026 and looking ahead, are you ready to stop overpaying? Are you ready to get out from under those restrictive platforms? Are you ready for true cloud freedom?